So, ladies and gentlemen, when Tony McKechnie entered the NHL in the late 70s, early 80s, we thought back towards other black, what I call groundbreaking players in professional hockey. Now, Willie O'Ree broke the color barrier by playing in the NHL for the Bruins for a short while. But this player is just as important, and he's been kind of lost in the midst of time because at the time with the WHA, there was a lot of players that were getting a chance in the association after several years in the minors. And one of these players was the very talented Alton White. Now, Alton White was a center, born in the beautiful community of Amherst, Nova Scotia. And like a lot of players of his generation, he was a compact 5'9", 175. Now, he got his big recognition in the 1963 and 64 season with the Manitoba Junior Hockey League's Winnipeg Rangers. His second season with the Rangers, he scored 23 goals in 29 regular season games, but moved on to the St. Paul Rangers of the CPHL for the playoffs, where he had 1 goal in 3 games. 65-66, he found himself in the IHL, which he was pretty well there for 4 seasons. His best season after Fort Wayne was Columbus in 68, where he scored 37 goals in 70 games and added 38 assists. 69, he was back with the Checkers. He scored 35 goals, but the province's Reds called him up for the playoffs, where he scored 1 goal in 9 games after 1 goal in 7 games in a regular season. Now, 69-70 with the Providence Reds of the AHL, he had 48 points, including 24 goals. With Providence in 71, he had 29 goals, and in Providence in 72, he had 30 goals. But unlike Tony McKechnie, who had signed with the Birmingham Bulls and the fans protested that a black person had signed, to my knowledge, he didn't. There was no really major problem with him signing with the WHA. If anything, they need a top scorer like Alton to augment the new teams. Now, he started with the New York Raiders, where he scored 5 points in 13 games, and then became the first black man to score 20 goals in a regular Major League season by hitting the 20-goal mark with the LA Sharks, and he also added 1 goal in the playoffs. Now, Alton holds another distinction as well. He was the first black player in history to score a hat trick in a Major League professional game, doing so against the Chicago Cougars. Now, in 73-74, he ended up back with the Sharks. He had 8 goals and 13 assists for 21 points. But he also spent some time with Greensboro of the SHL, where he had 5 points in 8 games. 74-75, he played the majority of the season with Syracuse of the NAHL, where he had 26 goals. But his last season was a combination of time with the Michigan Stags and the Baltimore Blades, where he had 9 goals and 12 assists for 21 points. Now, he was a power play and offensive specialist, and he entered his WHA career with almost like a 25 goal season pace. In 145 contests, he had 38 goals, 46 assists for 84 points. Now, just like Billy Riley and Mike Marson of the mid-70s, black players were getting heavy recognition on NHL and minor pro teams. Now, Alton wasn't to the success level of Tony McKechnie, but considering the fact that he had played nearly a decade in minor junior, as we say, or junior A, and in the minor leagues, and came all the way up to play with at least 2 of the biggest franchises in WHA history. LA and New York had a lot of press, a lot of followers in the media, even though it didn't show up at the rink. To see him succeed that much, especially from Amherst. There's some tremendous athletes from Amherst in numerous sports. So he is a tremendous role model, still is. And, making hockey history, it's hard to do, especially where you're the only person, and when you're a black person named White, that's a good conversation piece to write there. So when we're talking about black athletes in Canadian hockey history, Alton White should get all the recognition possible because he represented not only the black community, but Nova Scotia's black community, which is very important because the racism in minor hockey has been prevalent ever since black players started in the Maritimes. And for him to succeed and to basically everyone thought he was a great addition to the teams he played for, it just shows color is only a color if you're bringing up. If I was starting a team in the 1970s and I saw Alton White statistics, black, white, purple, blue, whatever, I would want Alton on my team. Like his last 4 seasons of minor pro, he was averaging between 30 and 25 and 35 goals a season. That means he belonged in whatever group he was. And I guess he had a little dipsy doodle style as well that should be recognized. It was a little bit of, kind of a Matt Snatzel meets Dave Poulin. So, anyway, that's the legend of Alton White. Thanks for listening.